Well, you guys, 2019 is officially over. Well, thank God for some people. And it's now time for me to talk about my top 10 best movies of 2019. Now, you're going to see a lot of films in this list that probably you wouldn't see, that maybe you wouldn't see on anybody else's list, or you're going to notice that there's a lot of films on my list that maybe you have seen that you would hope would be on my list. And that being said, it's probably because I maybe didn't like a film that some people have liked, or maybe it's a film that I have not seen yet, because not all films get released near me where I live. But then again, guys, just know that this is just my opinion. Don't go sending out death threats to me or anything like that. Just know that it's just my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. But first, before I name my top 10, I do have some honorable mentions. Movies that did not quite make my top 10 list, but I still loved them despite that. And my honorable mentions are The Kid Who Would Be King, The Lego Movie 2, the second part, Pokemon Detective Pikachu, Booksmart, Crawl, The Peanut Butter Falcon, Spider-Man Far From Home, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, and finally, Uncut Gems. Adam Sandler's best performance I've ever seen in my entire life. I haven't seen a performance from him that good since 50 First Dates, which a lot of people don't really like, but I love it despite the fact. Now, guys, now let's get into my top 10. At number 10, we have Marriage Story. Now, this movie made me love Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson even more than in the previous years, and it's a very realistic movie about a struggle between a couple who's getting a divorce pretty soon. And it's very hard for them while trying to also maintain their relationship with their son. And I would say it's probably the saddest film I've seen since A Ghost Story, which was 2 years ago. And that's a really sad film you guys should really check out. And I really recommend you guys check this out. At number 9, we have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I would say this is Quentin Tarantino's second best film in my opinion. I love Hateful Eight the most, despite that. And I would say Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt have one of their best performances I've seen in a long time from these two. And Margot Robbie, oh my God. Please be in more films. Keep going, girl. You got this. I would say the movie was extremely funny too. Very engaging, and it really shows, the peak of filmmaking from the 1960s. So if you guys did not see this when it came out, please do. At number 8, we have what I consider the greatest live-action manga adaptation I've ever seen, Alita: Battle Angel. This was one of my most anticipated films of the whole year. Nobody could even begin to realize how excited I was for this movie. And because of James Cameron being involved, I was already in, because James Cameron is my favorite director working today. I love The Terminator, I love the Avatar movie, and I love Titanic. That movie is my favorite romance of all time. And this movie further shows that James Cameron really cares about the craft that he's making, even if he wasn't really directing it. But the fact that he produced it and still helped out with Robert Rodriguez making this movie, this shows that live-action manga adaptations can work if you have the right people working with them. So please, if you didn't get a chance to see this when it was in theaters, please check it out when it comes out, maybe on Netflix, or when it comes out on Blu-ray or DVD. At number 7, we have a film that not a lot of people liked, and it flew under a lot of people's radar because it's really a foreign film. Climax. This is the best foreign film I've seen almost in my entire life, as well as of 2019. And this movie literally feels like that you're on drugs. In fact, I would go on a limb and say this movie is the world's longest say no to drugs commercial. And I thought the direction was really good. I thought the dancing was very well choreographed, although there is some pacing issues I have with the film, but it's still really good regardless. And the entire final 20 minutes of the movie being shot upside down, oh my God, I really felt like I was on drugs. That's how crazy this film can be. And there's not really much more I can say about it. So guys, I think that a lot of people should give this movie a second chance. It was really creepy, very well done, very well choreographed, very thrilling, and very, like, nauseating, but in a really good way. So, guys, check out Climax if you didn't get a chance to see it when it came out near you, because it didn't come out near me when it came out, so check that one out. At number 6, we have a film that not a lot of people liked. They prefer the first movie over this one, but I really enjoyed it. So, number 6, It Chapter 2. This movie really did live up to what the first movie was setting up. And I really do think it is a worthy adaptation of Stephen King's novel. I love the adult actors as the Losers Club. Oh my god, especially Richie. Oh my god, that guy was so freaking hilarious. I could not believe how funny he was in this movie. I could not believe the level of comedy that was in this movie. I thought they were going to get rid of that entirely, but they didn't. And I was very happy. Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise still works. He's the best Pennywise working today, and I really, really enjoyed him throughout the entire runtime. A lot of people say the movie was way too long in some parts, but I disagree. I felt that the movie was perfectly paced, and I felt like it had to be a little bit longer because, you know, the adults go through a lot, just like the kids did in the first movie. So check this one out if you haven't seen it. At number 5, we have a film that not a lot of critics liked, but audiences really loved. A film that really touched me in such a great way. A film that, because I read the book, is why it resonated with me so much. The Art of Racing in the Rain. This was one of the saddest films. This is also one of the saddest films I've seen throughout the entire year. It was also the most happiest, and it was realistic for the most part, because I would say that there are some situations happening in the movie that probably would never happen to somebody. And the fact that I read the book in one of my classes in college, and I fell in love with it. It was the best book I read in my class. And that's probably why this movie resonated with me so much, because I was in love with these characters. I loved the golden retriever dog. I loved the racing sequences, and the fact this guy is trying to fight a legal battle to keep custody of his daughter after his wife dies. It's really sad, and it really pulls at your heart. So, guys, check this one out. At number 4, we have what I consider the second best horror film I've seen throughout the whole year. The Lighthouse. Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson trapped as 2 lighthouse keepers on an island together. I'm in. This was also the really thrilling movie. And the fact that these 2 guys are arguing all the time, and Robert Eggers further proves that that he is a really good director in the horror genre with The Witch, which is a movie that I love a lot. The Witch is one of my favorite horror films of all time, and this movie I love a little bit more than that one. And it's really engaging, and with these 2 big actors being in this movie, I was all in. So guys, if you didn't see The Lighthouse, or if you didn't like it the first time, please give it a second try, or go see it or go get it when it comes out on DVD near you. Number 3, the best superhero film I've ever seen since Infinity War, Avengers Endgame. This was the movie that I've been waiting for. It didn't do a lot of stuff that I was expecting it to do, and it has what I consider the greatest war ending. And yes, I say war. I don't say battle because there was way too many people. I say war because it was a full-on war in this movie. It contains the best war ending battle, or basically war scene, I've ever seen in a film. The entire cast really works. There was so much humor. I could not believe that they actually managed to put so much humor into this movie. Because basically at the end of Infinity War, as most of you know, half the people are dead, and I didn't expect it to be funny. But it so worked. I was super happy with it. And guys, this is the best of a superhero movie that you can get. Hopefully, I'm wondering what they're going to do in the next few years. We'll see when the Eternals comes out pretty soon. I think in November. But guys, Avengers Endgame was the greatest superhero movie I saw all year. And I highly recommend that everybody owns this film. At number 2, we have the best horror film I've seen, and the best film that I've seen from Jordan Peele, Us. Now, this movie is what I want horror films to be. A film that doesn't always spoon feed you information. A film that is so different and so clever and so thrilling and so alienating in a way that it sticks with you long after the credits. And I was so moved by this movie. Like, I could not believe how well Jordan Peele crafted this film. In fact, I love this movie more than Get Out. And Get Out is a really good horror film. And this one does deal with some social tropes that Get Out dealt with as well. But, oh my God, this is a great film. I love it so much. So guys, if you didn't get a chance to see this when it came out, please do so. Maybe it'll come out on Netflix near you, and please check it out. All right, guys, we've now reached the film that I loved the most, the film that resonated with me the most, the film that touched me the most, and the film that had the best characters, in my opinion. This is the film that really stuck with me. The film that really made me cry. A film that nearly made me cry multiple times. A film that had the best looking animation. And this movie should be nominated for Best Animation Movie for 2019 at the Oscars. Guys, my favorite film of 2019 is Toy Story 4. This is the best animated movie I've seen in my entire life. No animated film can ever beat this. The animation was so photorealistic. I do think it is a fantastic ending to a great saga that I grew up with ever since I was 3 years old. In fact, Toy Story was the first film I ever saw in my entire life. So I grew up with these characters. These were the characters I was first introduced to when I saw film. And now that I get to experience the fourth movie as an adult, that really means a lot to me, because these characters mean the world to me. I was very glad that I was very glad of all the new characters they introduced. Forky was very sweet. Duke Kaboom was funny. I could not believe the photorealistic animation that they were able to accomplish with this film, especially the beginning, especially the opening 10 minutes in the rain. I kept asking myself, wait, is this real or is this animation? Because it looks so real. And it had what I consider not only the saddest ending I've ever seen, but the most meaningful ending. And the ending was also a very happy ending too. So guys, Toy Story 4 is my favorite film of the entire year. So guys, thank you so much for following me throughout 2019. Look forward to my next reviews coming up in 2020. So guys, if you like this, please share, please subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.